We know we want to bring the weight of the torso onto the back of the feet and the back of the knees. But do we want to carry the weight on the inside of the feet and knees, or the outside of the feet and knees? To answer this question, we can think about what happens when we're standing on one foot. In our day-to-day life, we stand on one foot very frequently. That might not sound right, but you stand on one foot every time you take a step. So if you walk, you are frequently standing on one foot. Standing on one foot is not particularly stable. It's something that's typically done while moving, like in walking. When you're on one foot, you're going to tend to be falling more or less. So which direction would you rather fall in when on one leg? In towards your other leg, which can catch you and keep you upright, or out towards, well, no part of you? This is our first indication that we would like to have our weight on the inside of our feet. Unfortunately, since most people have poor posture, they do not maintain the weight of their torso over the inside of their feet. You can readily observe this in two situations. When a person is standing for even a short duration, they will often cock one hip and bring the weight of their torso essentially over that leg. This pose is extremely common, and if you simply act it out yourself, you will see how this puts the weight of your torso on the outside of the foot of your supporting leg, while your other leg provides very little support at all. You can also see that the pelvis becomes angled. This is not a balanced posture, and it clearly twists the torso. You will also see people putting the weight of their torso on the outside of their feet when they walk. This takes a bit more work to really observe. But by looking at a still image of a person in the process of walking, you can see that they shift their weight very far from their center. This brings them onto the outside of their feet. They will shift their weight back and forth as they walk, though they will typically favor one leg more than the other. This shifting of weight requires you to bend your legs and torso while walking. Bending the legs in this way shortens you, just as bending the torso shortens you. And so, this is not the optimal way to walk. As for the knees, if we examine the structure of the bone, we can see that there are two condyles. The condyles are of different sizes, and the inner condyle is bigger than the outer one. This is a clear indication that the weight should be more on the inside of the knee than the outside. We can also see that the lower leg is reinforced at the back. Our leg is designed to carry weight at the back of the inner part of the knee. But as we've seen, it's very common for people to bring their weight to the front of the knees. With some careful observation, we can see that people also tend to bring their weight to the outside of their knees. To understand what is optimal for using the feet as a base, we need to understand one more concept. The true ankle joint really only allows for forward and backward movement. This image will give you an idea of how the ankle works. The tibia and fibula connect on either side of the talus bone, which can be moved forward and backward. The other movements that are possible with the feet are done below the ankle joint. It's a mechanical fact that a wheel functions best when the axle is 90 degrees to forward. If you've ever pushed a shopping cart with a busted wheel, it won't be hard to imagine why. When the axle of a wheel is not 90 degrees to forward, it obviously does not work as efficiently. You can expect vibration, uneven wear and tear, and, depending on the angle of the axle, the wheel might even stop functioning. The joint of the ankle works in a very similar way. To get proper function in your ankle joint, the axle, so to speak, of the ankle needs to be 90 degrees to forward. You can walk with your ankle not at 90 degrees, but that will lead to problems in how you walk and will force you to shorten your legs and ultimately your torso. But how do you know if your ankle joint is 90 degrees to forward? Take a look at your ankles. Feel around on them with your hands. One way to do this is to place your foot on a chair so you can reach your ankle and examine it. Is there anything you can find there that gives you an indication of the axle of the ankle? Join me next episode and we will straighten out our ankles and finally get to the correct position of the feet.